You know another reason why Sonic is cool? In almost every game, if you let the character idle, he goes into this animation where he's looking bored as crap because you are not making him move and he's impatient, and it's not in his character to wait around. You can see him there just dozing off because the game was sitting for a while. But on to the next. We might as well fight this thing. Might as well just do it all. So, as I was saying, what was I on? Sonic Adventure 2? Hard mode, because we're not bitches. The thing with Sonic Adventure 2 was it ended up getting ported to the GameCube. If you don't know what ported means, it basically just means they took that game from the Dreamcast and they put it on the GameCube. And I remember my birthday party when I got my GameCube. I don't remember all the kids that were there. I'm sorry if I don't remember you. I feel like Regis was there. Just throwing names out. I know Regis was there. I just remember Regis. So, the games that I got with it, though, were Super Smash Bros., Melee, and Star Wars Rogue Squadron. And that was an awesome game. The Rogue Squadron 2, that was a really good game. But, I don't remember how to kill this thing. Oh god. What am I supposed to do? Oh yeah, I remember. Okay. There were no Sonic games for that system, but I knew that Sonic Adventure 2 was coming out for it. And at the time, my dad was also running a video game store. If you're curious, it was on Fairfield and like Arcadia, right next to that little Mexican shop that my buddy Andreas used to run. If you don't know where that is, fine, whatever, but it was called DDX Video Games. DDX stood for David, Donna, and Xavier. I was the in-house game guru because I didn't really have an actual job or title. Like, that's just what I did. People would ask me questions and I would answer them. So, with the next shipment of games that my dad got in from whoever the hell he bought them from, Sonic Adventure 2 was in there for the GameCube. The port is called Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. And I remember making a deal with my dad, like, hey, can I trade one of my games and let you sell it in the store if I can take the Sonic that you have in the box upstairs and open it? And he was like, you know, what game are you trying to trade for it? Because, you know, this is a business, son. This is a business. I could sell that game brand new, like, you know? And I was like, how about Pikmin? It was Pikmin. I sold Pikmin 1 for Sonic Adventure 2. Even trade. And I remember I went into my dad's little den area, I opened that up, and I ripped it open and stuck in my GameCube, and things were never the same. Now, just from that save file of Sonic Adventure 2, I still have it after all these years. I still have that memory card, I still have that save file. And last time I checked, that save file was at 168 hours of playtime. I mean, yeah, I played that game for a very, very, very long time. I did everything there is to do in it, and again, like that website I mentioned earlier where you could go and post times and everything, I did that for that game really hardcore. It was a good time. So, if you take into account all the time I spent with the original Sonic Adventure 2, and then any other save files I might have had with Sonic Adventure 2, and then all of the time spent watching Lindsay play Sonic Adventure 2 poorly, I've played that game a lot. I want to say it's my most played video game, but then I feel like some Pokemon game will trump it, because with every Pokemon you end up spending like 200 hours and then you never catch them all, and you just like, what was the point, you know? But we still buy it every single year, yeah. Oh, that's a good song, let's leave it at that. His World, yes. That's another thing, these games always have really good music. Every single game, no matter if the game sucks or what, the soundtracks are always top-notch. But after Sonic Adventure 2, the next Sonic game didn't come out until 2003. And that was Sonic Heroes. And I remember that came out around the same time that Wind Waker did, The Legend of Zelda The Wind Waker. which is another favorite game of mine, by the way. If you haven't played it, go play it. It is very good. Sonic Heroes was kind of weird because, one, it was the first Sonic game to be like multi-platform. It came out for the same time on the PlayStation 2, the Xbox One, the old Xbox One, not the new one, obviously, and the GameCube. But the thing about it is, it wasn't like equally developed on every system. The GameCube one ended up being the best because it was the lead system. The Xbox one did okay because it was a more powerful system in itself. But the PlayStation 2 version was all shitty and had like slowdown and frame rate issues and bugs and glitches, and it was terrible. But I had the GameCube version because I had a GameCube. And I don't remember if I liked the game when it first came out. I remember thinking maybe it was just weird, really weird game. It was like you had 12 playable characters in that game. Freaking 12, and they were all on 4 different teams, 4 different 3-man teams. And the music was kind of weird too. The main theme was super cheesy. It was all like Sonic Heroes, all like Nickelback-ish. It was just weird. It kind of reminds me of Snake Eater now that I think about it. Snake Eater! That game's awesome. By the way, if you haven't played it, go play it. Don't play Peace Walker, though. I didn't like it. It was crappy. Who liked that game? Nobody. That's why it's not in the HD collection, like the digital version and the handheld version. They didn't care. They were like, fuck Peace Walker. Anyway, Sonic Heroes was good, especially in hindsight now. I think it's really good. It's a really, really solid game. But then something happened. Sonic entered what we fans call the Dark Ages after this. Because after this, we got a game called Shadow the Hedgehog. And if you don't know about Shadow the Hedgehog, well, first let me go introduce him to you. He's in this game. I'll go show him to you. He's a cool guy. He's alright. Like, he's a marsupial. That's what a hedgehog is, right? Now, that sounds aquatic somewhat. Matter of fact, did you know, I read this on the internet, and I think Rhett told me, that Sonic can't swim in the games because originally the creators thought that hedgehogs couldn't swim. Yeah, they didn't take the time to actually look up whether hedgehogs could swim or not, so they just made it so that Sonic couldn't swim. And he still can't to this day. But, anyway, back to what I was saying. This is Shadow. This little guy. Oh, back for more, Sonic. Guess you never learned your lesson. Yeah, this is Shadow. He's kind of a twat. I mean, he's just, who knows. He was cool when he first came out. He originally showed up 2001 in Sonic Adventure 2. And he was cool back then, because he was like the anti-Sonic. He was like, yeah, because dark clones of the main character are cool, right? They're always cool. So, look at him, look at him. He's so hardcore, and Sonic just can't keep up, and he's all like, yeah, look at that, jumping the moon, and you're just like, what? And you know what? Here's a bit of trivia with that as well. You know when they jumped in front of the moon right there? If we want to, you know, be accurate, Dr. Eggman blew up half the moon during the storyline of Sonic Adventure 2. So in that little scene there should only be half of a moon. That's kind of a weird, like, oversight for them to make, honestly. Ah, bastard. So, Shadow the Hedgehog was the next game in the main Sonic series.